live.
Yeah, I think we're actually live.
Oh, fun.
Let's make sure we've got a stream and we're up. You're good to go.
Hello! I hope that's not too loud. You should tell us if that's too loud.
Yeah.
We're here for the second week of cooking at ECM, which is really exciting. We have Amelia, who is working on a computer. We're really happy to have her kind of fielding questions. So if you have anything, we have someone to respond to those. Mary, who will be leading us through all of our food, and David, who has set up all this camera stuff that you're not seeing, but we're seeing, which is great. So thanks to everyone who made this possible. If you want to know what you just tuned into, we're going to cook today together. On Thursdays at ECM, we normally have cooking time around 6 or 7 p.m. or when people can get together to make the food for Real Food Lunch. And we thought, why don't we still do food together, but maybe in our own homes and spaces. So this week, we didn't get everyone the ingredients, but we hope next week to have it where people can fill out our form online and they can then get the ingredients so that when you tune in, you can actually cook along with us, which is pretty cool. And we're very excited about that. But this week, if you would be interested in eating any of the food and would like to have it delivered to you, we will make sure that you get some so that you can have some yummy vegan things for your tummy. Yungy and yummy, they run together. So without further ado, let's begin. It's Mary!
Hi everybody! It's good to know if anybody is... Maybe people are on or maybe they're not. It doesn't matter. We're going to continue.
We're doesn't. And I think too, it only shows on the... We can actually see how many people are watching us, which is, fine. But I think it only shows those who kind of like have signed in with the app, but aren't necessarily just watching. So there's people that are probably watching that may not have the app.
Yes. Okay. Well, we are going to be making... It's a sweet potato and lentil soup. And then we're also going to make chocolate chip cookies because I think we all need cookies right now, and some naan. So I think David set up a bot so you can... How do you get it? You can type...
I forgot to add this to the channel, so...
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we'll just talk about that in a bit.
It's going... Amelia, you want to type in or exclamation point recipe?
It works!
Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah. So is that... But everyone can see that or just...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we just... You want to explain what we just did?
To see the recipes, all they have to do is just type exclamation point recipe into the chat and it'll pop up for them.
Okay, yeah. If you want to see the recipes, you can just type exclamation point recipe and it'll pop up in the chat. We also made the same thing, or if you do exclamation point ECM, it'll take you to our website, which is exciting.
Yay!
So if you look at the recipes, we're going to be doing the sweet potato and lentil soup, and there's naan with it. So the naan has to sit for half an hour. So I was just kneading this right before we started, like right as we were starting. So this needs to sit for half an hour. So we're going to oil a dish and let it rise, and then we'll start the soup.
What do you do, Mary, to make this beautiful
that's a
hunk of bread that we're all about to rise?
That's a good point. So it depends, because this is... A lot of recipes will use like milk or yogurt in it, depending on what you look at. Because it's vegan, this is just the most basic and like flour, yeast, water, and a little bit of salt and maple syrup. So you mix together the flour with the yeast and the salt, which is interesting, rather than doing yeast with warm water, and then you just pour the warm water with the maple syrup on top of it, and then you mix it up and then knead it into this ball. So it takes like 3 minutes, 3 seconds.
Very labor intensive. While she's doing that, I'm going to wash my hands again, because we all should be washing our hands a lot. So I'm going to go wash my hands.
Yay! So with a little bit of canola oil, I'm just going to use my hands and kind of rub it all over this thing.
What song do you sing when you wash your hands, Mary?
The washing my hands song. No, I don't know. Do you sing a song?
In my head, I do.
Yeah.
It's not very advanced. It's the ABCs twice, but.
Oh, that is what they say. One of the main ones. So I'm scooping this out of the bowl, and then
It looks yummy.
you want to just put it in the bowl and then like flip it over a couple times so it gets nice and oily. Nice.
Oil. And can you use, like, if we don't have canola oil, can we use other oils, or do we have to use canola oil?
No, you don't have to use canola oil.
Okay.
Canola is a pretty cheap and easy baking oil. That's not like soy. If you have soy allergies, you can use whatever. I would probably say for stuff like that, rather than using like a nice olive oil, unless you only have olive oil, maybe just use a cheaper one because it doesn't need to be anything fancy. So we're going to take this and I'll cover it and we'll just set it over here. So now we're just going to cut stuff up again. So like we did last week. We have this one cutting board which
I moved the singing bowl.
has some nice Lysol and oil, the most important things. So we're gonna be cutting up onions.
Again.
Yeah, more onions. I thought about doing the onions at least before and I was like, oh no, it'll be fine. Should have done the onions first.
It's okay. It's totally fine. I love crying on film. Camera.
Yay!
It's one of my favorite activities.
Knife. So we'll cut up onions and then we also have sweet potatoes to cut up, as well as garlic and ginger. Pretty basic stuff.
I was thinking too, one of the things that we do sometimes here is we get a lot of like things like onions that hurt your eyes if you do them all the time, and we cut up a lot of things and then put them in the freezer so that we don't have to do it all the time. Do you have any recommendations on how to make it where you're not having to constantly cut up onions, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think that would be the freezer sounds like a good idea. Yeah, and we could do
I think we had onions in there like 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago I saw.
That could be a good option. We could also just I mean, I know maybe if you rinse them off, isn't that supposed to help them also?
I'm gonna go try, because it means that water will run over my hands.
Like washing hands.
Like washing hands. Mary, how did you get so good at cooking? I mean, you're just so good at it. How did you do it? She's so good at cooking.
A lot of trial and error, I guess. I didn't know how to cook when I started like college or anything, and I think I just didn't want to eat out, and I also was really on the idea of like not making any waste, and so I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna make everything and I'll just see how it goes, and I'm still just trying to make everything and see how it goes.
So you're not like a professional, you just do it because it's fun.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's a lie.
I do feel sometimes like when people come and do RFL and have like real tips, like real hacks to cooking, and I'm like, oh, and I didn't know you could do it like that. Like, just like a lot of different things where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, why are you doing it that way? And I'm like, yeah, why not? I don't know.
And it makes it nice because it means like, what I like about cooking together with other people and not necessarily being like an expert is that you kind of get to learn from each other. And that's sort of neat. A lot of folks ask why we do vegan food, or why we choose to cook vegan food on Fridays, because it seems like such a niche thing and not a lot of people will like it. But I actually never ate a lot of vegan things before moving to Manhattan, which people might find crazy. But Real Food Lunch taught me a lot, and the people that cooked here. especially seeing like people come together that hadn't, that couldn't eat meat unless it was killed in a certain way, and like in Judaism or in Islam in some traditions. So having vegan food meant they could eat together with us, or that we could all eat together. I shouldn't say us and them. Or I don't know. I learned that growing certain foods at certain times was better for the environment, and I learned a lot of that from folks here. So you've been a part of that, Mary.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we made quick work of those onions, actually.
And no one cried.
No one cried.
So we eat vegan on Fridays because it's more welcoming to people.
And it's delicious. It is delicious.
So it's really good.
Compost bucket of the week. That could be a tune.
What does composting mean? What does that mean?
Composting is what a big concept to summarize.
Can you do it in about a minute? Can you just...
Composting is, in the simplest form, taking food scraps and putting them in an environment where they will biodegrade back into soil through organic matter. They'll just become stuff that you can put on the...
This is like change it around?
Crazy angle.
Can I swap it? Yeah.
We're moving the cameras around. It's really, you can't see what's happening, but can they? I don't know. It's fun. You were finishing.
Yeah, they can absolutely see what's going on.
She was finishing explaining what composting meant.
Oh yeah, composting. It's basically just biodegrading any.
Right. This is what we wanted. Yeah. What am I doing?
Not necessarily food scraps, but if you have a compost thing in your kitchen, it will be food scraps and any sort of biomass that you don't eat. You can put, and basically, usually you mix it with dead
Have I done it the other way?
material.
I've done it the wrong way again, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
I
And
swear. I'm not helpful.
you just make organic matter to put in your soil. It's great. It's so good for the planet because it doesn't send food scraps to the landfills where they will sit there and create methane because there's no oxygen, and so
Things you learn.
it's not good.
Okay, well there's gonna be a black line.
That's okay.
So yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Doesn't have to be perfect.
I don't know, do we want is that okay?
Emily says it looks good. Do you want me to cut this up, Mary?
Yes, I would love you to cut it up.
Any particular way you want me to cut this up?
Just small chunks, really.
Okay.
Would be good.
And are these yams or sweet potatoes?
These are sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Although don't ask me how to tell the difference because I don't actually know.
I have no idea.
I really thought that they were the same thing for a long time because people made it sound like they were the same thing, and then they threw a curveball and said that they're not. So whatever.
And sweet potatoes can be a little, gotta put some muscle into it. Also, not an expert on sweet potatoes.
I just got these from Dylan's and they're like pretty dirty. So we're gonna be. Why are we making the dough for soup? Oh wow, he answered the question. Is that I don't know. I'll have to say they're really dirty. I'm just scrubbing sweet potatoes over here. It's really putting my back into it.
I'm blocking you. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't know if they can see you or not. Well done. Oh my goodness. The loud banging noises sometimes aren't my favorite.
Has anybody gotten to do anything like actually fun maybe outside recently? But has anybody done anything like that? In person or in the chat?
Well, I think that's my favorite question right now because we actually just set up all of our hammock chairs outside. So it's really great because you can sit outside when the sun is going down or during sunrise and be in a chair that's like a hammock. And that has been, I was like, if I can do this, I can do this with a hammock chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I'm excited when everyone gets back that we can hammock chair. There isn't enough for everyone, but
everyone can.
We can share. We can share. Probably have to Lysol them, but we can share. No, it'll be fine. I really like that you're washing your hands, Mary. Mary, what have you done outside that's been fun?
Yesterday I went to Pillsbury Crossing. That was nice.
What's that?
That's I don't know, the outdoor area that has it's just like, people take their dogs and their cars and there's like a little waterfall and then there's just like an inch of water and I was like, oh yeah, this will be fine, I'll just take my shoes off, and it was so cold because it's March. Why am I doing this? But it was really nice to just be outside. That was really nice.
I'm trying to remember. We cut up 2 onions. I know 2. They were kind of big onions, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Kind of globally sized, medium sized.
And we have 8 sweet potatoes.
8 sweet potatoes, and these are this is the size of a hand and a half. Kind of.
Yeah. They're varied though. I got some smaller ones and some big ones. I know some people really like the small sweet potatoes.
Is it true that they tend to be sweeter when they're small, or?
That would make sense to me, but I've never scientifically experimented it.
Well, opportunities for all of us.
Other than that, I've been inside. I'm glad we've been working on the garden a lot.
That's exciting.
At my house.
What
Starting to plant stuff.
What are you growing?
Well, right now in the ground we have onions, radishes, lettuce, spinach, and I think like maybe some other sort of salad mix kind of thing. But I cut up potatoes about 2 days ago, so I think tomorrow we'll plant potatoes. Then we'll have potatoes.
There's certain kind that grow best here.
We got Yukon Golds, and then I had potatoes like in the back room of our house that had started to sprout, so I think that we're just gonna put those in the ground and see what happens too. So that should be fun. Been puzzling.
What does that mean?
Puzzling?
Making a puzzle!
Yeah.
That's very exciting. I'm puzzled by a lot of things right now, but I guess it's not an activity necessarily.
Yeah, I've just been puzzling about everything lately.
It's an existential moment.
I'm gonna get a bowl for these.
That's so great. And one of the things that's been really cool, although sad, it's kind of one of those bittersweet things. The student farm and lovely Reagan brought us a bunch of microgreens. So we'll send out some pictures if folks want to see them, but they're beautiful. And we'll probably be cooking with them in a little bit. So I don't really know what microgreens are, though. Mary, you'll have to explain that.
Microgreens are kind of basically they're usually spring sort of greens. They're usually like spring greens that have been just sprouted, and so you can usually have just like a super thin layer of soil, or sometimes people will just do like rock wool, which is like spun glass, or which isn't as scary as it sounds, and or like a burlap that's just like wet, and so you just sprinkle all of these seeds on it, and then you sprout them. So, and then there's nothing for them to like properly grow. Ooh, do you want to like?
Oh, come. Oh yeah, okay. We have picture. We have an image.
This is great. Okay, so can you see that? So they basically just whatever. This way. This is kind of hard to figure out which direction to go.
It's so funny
it's
too
like,
to read the chat comments at the same time. I'm having a hoot, team.
They are not quite like herbs. They are more like actual greens, like lettuce or mustard, or you can do like radish greens. But it's basically just the seed that's sprouted and the initial leaves. So whatever the seed had stored in it, it's what grows from that. And so it's a really high, like they grow really fast, and because you're just sprouting seeds and then eating them. But a lot of people like them on like for, I guess, like for garnish or like fancy things. Do you want to eat some of these?
Yeah, I love it. Beautiful. Do we just eat the top?
Yeah, and you can eat the stem too, just not probably the dirt.
I'll avoid the dirt. They taste like, they kind of have a radishy kick at the end.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So they kind of, you taste them and you're like, maybe it's like romaine lettuce.
Yeah.
And then it finishes with a little
pop.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I would do that again. If one of them's gone tomorrow, it's because I ate all the microgreens. I'm just gonna wash my hands again. I'm just gonna do it because it's such a good idea.
That's great.
I'm just gonna go wash my hands. And I know that we're cooking, this is going to be able to feed how many people if we were to guess?
This 20?
That's good.
The initial recipe, we quadrupled it.
Okay.
So
if we were,
I'm not sure.
If you were going to be feeding like just yourself, one person, or if you're going to be feeding a couple people, how much would you reckon? Like, you would need like 2 potatoes and 1 onion, or kind of what would you suggest?
Actually, the initial recipe calls for 2 potatoes and half an onion, and then like less than a cup of lentils. So it really isn't like.
Oh, wrong bucket. Don't recycle
Don't
my potatoes.
roast our potatoes.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. What was I saying now?
You were talking about how many potatoes it would take and onions to feed someone like.
Oh yeah, it would just be like two potatoes, half an onion, and less than a couple lentils.
Really?
So.
I think one of the misconceptions that I've often had about eating vegan, or like, would this be called clean eating too? Is that like something you call that? That it's really expensive. And what I think has been really neat about this recipe and the other recipes that you've used before is that this really, 2 potatoes, an onion, and a cup of lentils is way less expensive than like some of the other things that I could get at like a meal I would get at a store.
Yeah. No, I actually, I went grocery shopping for our whole house the other day, and this is maybe sound really weird to some folks, I don't know. But, like, I had never bought meat before, but I was buying for my roommates, and so I bought meat for the first time. And that was like half, I felt like it was like, I got all of this food and then some meat, and it was like $20 for the meat or something. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I think that eating vegan and not eating a bunch of animal products can usually be definitely noticeably cheaper, because beans and lentils, like, them's cheap.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. kind of dispel some of those myths too that people have.
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely think that like I'll watch cooking videos and stuff, and you know, the moment that you're sprinkling pine nuts on your salad, you're like, okay, who are you? But it's not
I
everybody.
do love a delightful pine nut sprinkle.
Yeah.
And like a pine nut glaze.
Yeah.
Has that fresh outdoor scent.
Yeah.
We're doing well. This is a doozy, team. This is like, I can't even get my hand around it, and it's just a lot of potato. Lots of potato.
Has anybody watched any good shows or have any recommendations, since we're all probably spending a lot of time in front of our computers / TVs? Has anyone watched any good shows?
While people are thinking, because that's an excellent question, and really the question of the hour besides will I be eating, I think that one of the things I love, what is it called? Oh, Emma the movie. I was desperately wanting to see it, the Jane Austen movie.
Yeah.
In theaters, and so of course the theaters they are no longer.
Existence.
Yeah, right. The Gathering. We're not gathering there anymore. And so I thought it was cool that they released it so that you could watch it. So I watched it, and it was super cute.
Aw.
If you like Jane Austen stuff, I think that you will probably find it enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I watched that the other night, and it was really lovely.
I also wanted to watch that. Is it like, do you still have to pay for it? Is it like one
Yes,
of those?
so it's not free.
Yeah.
But you can get it on lots of different places. And if you're like going to watch it with your roommates or something, it still comes out to like $5 a person. Which it would be in theaters right now normally. So
yeah.
I think it's nice that it's more accessible. But that is more of an expensive option.
Yeah.
That is more of an expensive option. I do hear you saying that.
But I could totally see for if you're really excited. The Terror is good. Just the first season though. I don't know what The Terror is about. Is that like fantasy sci-fi? Like, that sounds spooky to me.
I don't try and watch things that are called terror. Ooh, Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. I think that's on Netflix, right? I think I've seen the title for it. But that sounds pretty good.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you for answering the questions. We were discussing last time when we were trying to decide like how to proceed for this week. One of the things was like, oh, we should think of questions to ask, so it's not just, because we talk a lot when we do this.
Yeah.
So your answers are helpful because it gives us some inside tips on what we should be watching, like Terror or Lost in Space. I'm probably not going to watch Terror, but someone else should, and report back.
I watched the first episode of The Kingdom last night.
What's that about?
It's a Korean zombie show.
Ah!
I was not prepared for the level of zombie there was in it. But it was alright. I don't know if I'll watch more of it. But
I do
It was
love a
fine.
good zombie movie in the middle of this.
yeah. Well, I think Aswini wanted to watch it probably because of that, because
Oh, it felt
I
relevant.
don't know if
Something.
anyone's like seen on Netflix like all of the like pandemic or like the world apocalypse movies are all trending. You're like, gosh, people.
I definitely can't watch scary things like that when I'm in the middle.
No.
It's too much. It's like an emotional overload.
And some folks are basking in it. Just really having a great time.
Wow, this is a whole mound of. Can you see this? It's the mound of potatoes.
I can tell, yeah.
Oh, this direction is towards the people.
Yeah,
Look at
there we
that. That's so many potatoes. This is again not all the potatoes you would need for one person. This is way more than you would need for one person. But for a few people, well, 20 people apparently, that's about where we're at.
We also we sent out a form in the future weeks, it's gonna be like we'll drop off the ingredients and people can cook with us. But
Good
for
reminder.
this week, it's like just to like we'll drop off the food tomorrow
Mhm.
because I will personally deliver your food so you can eat.
Door-to-door service team.
Door to door, RFL on wheels. So I think David, did you make another bot for that one?
For what one?
The form.
I did not. I can
Oh, I thought that you did. Okay, well we'll get something. We'll get it on there so you can fill out the form and just like put your address in and how much food you want, and I'll come bring it to you.
Do you
We'll just
want
do
me
it.
to do the form? I can do the bot real quick.
Yeah, whatever works best. If we could just link the form.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
link the form. Amelia
I
can
just-
just put the form on there.
Yeah, perfect.
And we'll do it next time.
I don't have the form right now.
That's okay.
Well, I'm gonna sneak on behind you and get my death drinks.
What is death drinks, David?
You're always telling me energy drinks are gonna kill me.
You shouldn't drink energy drinks as much as you do.
I'm not denying that.
I will say I was like pretty craving a soda like a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
So
got-
I live down the road from Yee's. So I went to their vending machine outside and got a soda, and I was like, oh yes. So excited.
Sometimes it's those cravings that you're like, well,
Yeah.
this is where we're at today. I'm going to give you a pro tip. If you have a giant chunk of sweet potato, just cut it into smaller pieces. That's it. That was my tip.
It's a lovely tip.
Like it was a giant potato and I couldn't cut it into circles anymore because it wouldn't, and so I just... This is the level of expertise we're working with here.
We're gonna do some. We'll just do this ginger.
Ooh.
Or ginger.
Tell us about ginger.
It's a root spice.
I don't know any
I
of
don't
it.
know. It's also one of the Spice Girls.
Huh!
I only recently learned that you can just leave the shell on it, but
Didn't
most
know.
people do that. I've been spending a lot of my lifetime peeling ginger, and I think that people just don't peel it, and I was like, oh wow, who knew?
Because it's kind of a crazy shape. It's not like a friendly shape. Like no one's like ginger. That looks like a friendly shaped animal. No, it's not an animal. Plant root.
What a friendly animal ginger is.
What does a friendly shaped animal look like?
I don't know, but like if you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to shave off the edge of this, you kind of gotta.
Yeah,
There's some nooks and crannies to it, like this. You know what I'm saying? Look at this.
complicated man.
This is not.
No.
That does not mean that ginger is not our friend. That is not what I'm indicating. It just is. It would be difficult to like. I'm gonna stop talking about it, but I think you. I don't even. This is all I need to say about it. So.
It's doing great.
Great.
So I'm doing.
Do you know what I learned the other day that was a little terrifying to me that I did not know? I don't know if this is really that terrifying, but clearly I'm scared easily. So, that potatoes are nightshades?
Yeah.
Does everyone else know that but me? And if you eat them raw, like you can get really sick?
Not
No?
like the leaves and the
Oh,
tops
the
of
leaves.
potatoes are toxin.
Really?
Toxious? No, that's not a word. Never mind.
Or
Just
have
toxic.
Toxic. That's the word.
huh.
I can't use my brain.
Anyway, but sweet potatoes, are they like that as well, or do we know?
No, sweet potatoes are actually in a totally different family and everything. And apparently there are people who eat sweet potato leaves. I've never had them, but they're probably pretty good. Yeah, they're also, yeah. And, eggplants. There's a lot of stuff in the nightshade family. Fun fact, you can actually grow tomatoes into
We're reading the comments. It's kind of hard because they're far away, but it's totally fine.
Yeah, I don't have. I'm wearing my glasses today, even. Cross tomato. Oh yeah. Also, there's there's also
What were you reading that you were responding to when you said yeah?
sorry. You can actually cross tomatoes and tobacco, like in that Simpsons episode, which I've never seen that. But there's also a they're called like Tom-tatoes, and it's a cross of a potato and a tomato plant, and that is
So we're cutting up ginger next.
yeah.
And let's do kind of a redo. If you were to just for one person, how much of this ginger would you need?
An inch of the ginger. So I was doing
What is
5 inches.
What is an inch of the ginger? What does that even mean?
I think it just means. Can you see it still?
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
Like an inch of the ginger.
Huh. That's
Um,
interesting that it's measured that way.
Yeah, I've seen it as like tablespoons also in different like molasses, but I kind of like that better because like I feel like before you cut it, it's hard to tell like
This is gonna be an
what a
inch.
tablespoon would be like.
I'm just really quickly gonna try and get the chat up on screen a little bigger for you.
Oh, sweet, that'd be helpful.
I'm not entirely sure if I can, but I will try real quick.
Just cutting up ginger.
More ginger.
Is it smaller? Should be smaller than that. And let's show them a piece. Like let's hold up a piece that you have, and so they can see a little bit better. Maybe like what a ginger piece would look like.
Like this
Even
piece?
here. Oh no, like see they're the size of my fingernail. Some of them are a little.
I don't know if anyone could even.
Look at this.
Can you
Look
see
at this.
this?
Isn't this
Tiny-
amazing?
Can you
Clearly,
see this tiny thing?
clearly we have been trained to be on screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my conducting.
Since day one
It's true.
of birth.
Mary was born for this. Just gonna. I'm really good at this.
You're doing great. It looks wonderful.
I don't think I can make it loud. It's bigger for you right now.
That's alright.
It's not while it's live.
That's okay.
Give it a try.
Not a big deal.
I've got the Spice Girl stuck in my head and I blame you entirely for it. Do I need to keep doing all of this, Mary?
No, what we have.
This is enough?
Oh, if that was already cut off, then you have to add it. I don't know how much is actually gonna be on there, but.
There's some. It's a little more woody, but
Yeah.
it's ginger. There's some ginger in it.
Okay.
Shake it, mama. Okay, new song. Someone pick a different song to get stuck in my head. Oh my goodness. Somebody pick a different song, please.
Let's go with what? Toxic? Britney Spears?
I don't know, man. Do we want that song also stuck in my head?
Yeah, it fits the theme.
So we're gonna do garlic and then we'll start cooking.
Are you adding it to your pandemic watch list? Oh, that's amazing. I don't know what that meant, but that was fun. Okay, what are we doing next?
Garlic.
Haha!
We're doing about 8.
8 of these little pieces.
Cloves.
8 cloves. Can you see? Aren't they beautiful? What do you do to cut up garlic to make it lovely?
Usually you want to smash it with the blade
Okay.
and then just chop it up a bunch.
How about
That's good to me, yeah.
so I smashed it, my blade, and then I chop it up a bunch. I'm gonna move this because we don't need this right now.
I'm gonna tilt this camera up just a smidge so I'm not cutting off the top of your heads. Oh no, Mary. No. It's not worth it.
Blade got her.
A little better. It shouldn't have been much of a move.
How many seasons are there of The Simpsons though? Like isn't there like 50, 100 million?
I think that's a pretty specific, like close enough, you know?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
I'm just gonna smash it, and then cut it up, because that's what Mary said. Cooking with Mary.
Nothing is real.
That makes me laugh.
Okay, maybe I could start while you finish up the garlic.
Yeah,
I have to set up
please.
the onions. Should we just scoop this guy over to look at me, or?
Are you wanting to look at what you're doing?
Yeah, I was.
That seems important.
This
Oh, all of our light went away.
Oh,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
sorry, I should have just moved it with
No,
the.
you're
Come
okay.
to talk with me again. No, you should have the light on her. It should be on her. I'm just gonna sing songs about darkness.
I don't even know if I can. I'm sure I can.
Oh gosh, those are loud pans. No one was harmed in the making of the loud pan. And then I turn around to reach you. The sound of silence.
Did you hear that scary sound?
It's the sound of the. I have no idea what that is.
You trying to say it's on? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one way to test.
Yep. Well, in my defense, like 2 or 3 days, well, a couple more days ago than that, I had it on, had this front burner on, and it, for like a while, and it was just not on. Like,
Yeah, that's one of the things we need to replace is that front left large burner. It does not always want to connect properly.
It's very good to know. It's important to have a stove that works when you're cooking.
I mean, it works eventually.
got some oil in the pot.
What kind of oil are you using, Mary?
I used olive oil for that one.
Why are you using olive oil for that one instead of canola oil?
I don't know, because olive oil is really good for tasting and eating it, and I like it.
Huh.
No, you could use canola oil. This isn't.
I'm really excited to eat this soup. It smells delicious. I really like the smell of the garlic and all of the yummy ginger together. I'm gonna wash my hands again because it's been a few minutes.
Scoop in the onion, throw it in the pot.
Throw it in the pot. Can I help in some capacity, or would it be better for me to just go out of the way?
Well, you know what we need? We need to start some rice.
Okay.
So if you would want to get out our thing of rice and
This thing. Oh, the pot.
in
The
the
jug of
in
rice.
the pantry, the jug
Okay.
of rice, yes. We want to make 8 cups of rice. So we could do.
Do we need another pot down?
No, we won't use one of the big pots. We can just use a smaller pot.
Okay.
Oh wait, what am I doing? This is a really exciting thing that we have here. Oh, you're not able to see this. It's a literal gallon bucket of rice, and we buy it like this because it's in bulk, which means it's less expensive. And
now
on
we
the
know
top,
what the next song is, yeah.
and on the top it says, "Rice, rice, baby." Do 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 do.
And now I'm washing my hands.
Stop.
There we go.
Collaborate and listen. Rice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Oh no, what is it? I don't know anymore.
I don't know any of the words. So.
It's rice. That's what it is.
Aww.
I literally have no idea what I'm doing next. Oh, eight cups in a
pot with water.
Okay, this pot.
Sure.
Mary, did you come back to to Goodwill and pick up that turkey-based seasoning pot, whatever it is that you got over there?
What?
That you've got the scraps in? Did you buy that from Goodwill?
No.
No. That's why we saw one just like it.
Yeah, and I bought one like for myself. Like that at Goodwill.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I messed up and put sweet potatoes in the onions, but it's fine. So now we're gonna have sweet potatoes in the onions.
It's gonna be alright.
Not a big deal.
8 cups. Do we have any 8 cups of water or 8 cups of rice?
8 cups of rice. So one helpful hack for cooking, I guess.
Apparently too theatrical.
Huh?
Are we substituting standard rice for basmati rice?
You mean the other way around, but yeah.
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 It says cooked basmati rice.
Yeah, because you
Okay.
cook the rice.
Okay, maybe that's just me misremembering how to read this.
6.
Yeah, let me try and see if
Oh,
it's
Mary, we
good.
can't see your face right now. We can just see like a white blurb.
I think I'm gonna add something to this. So, one helpful thing that you can do
8.
is instead of like spending $300 million every time you cook for vegetable stock, just kidding, it's pretty cheap, but you can just use whatever leftover scraps you have from the kitchen, and you can just put it in a pot and boil it basically until it becomes vegetable stock. So we're going to use vegetable stock that I made like an hour ago.
How do we know that it's become vegetable stock?
Because it tastes like it. And you can put different veggies in it, so it would taste differently depending on like what veggies are in there. So I'm going to probably just put, and I was going to add this, sorry, now this is hard. I was going to add a little bit of this like bouillon paste, better than bouillon, but it has all sorts of like soy and corn and stuff in it, so that makes some folks, sorry,
Nope, you're doing great.
not able to eat it, but this is pretty good as it is. It also, you could just use water if you really wanted to, but I do like adding that. Yeah?
I don't know. It's basically just soy sauce, but no soy.
Well, there's coconut aminos actually in the fridge, which might be better.
Oh, perfect.
Because it is just missing like a little bit of saltiness.
Very important right now.
Oh.
What do you,
Sorry, Mom.
are you want me to just leave this here?
Well, you can fill it with water and cook it.
Oh, this is what I thought that was.
Yes. So, yeah, we're just going to add some coconut aminos. They'll have a nice, like, saltiness. And they're pretty, like, allergen friendly because it's just coconut. And I've never met somebody with a coconut allergy. I'm sure they exist, but I would imagine soy and gluten, which are in what regular soy sauce is, I would say those are more common allergies.
I mean, everybody has a coconut allergy if it falls far enough. Come on. That was bad even
David's
for me.
got really good jokes.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the other reason that we cook with some of these other alternative things, as Mary was explaining, was because folks have allergies. And so we found that having knowing what other people's allergies are when they come to eat has helped us make sure that they can all eat with us. Sometimes it's not perfect because there's a lot of different things to accommodate, but it's a little easier to accommodate stuff when you're cooking vegan. That is very good.
So, I think we're gonna use a strainer, and we're just gonna strain stuff out, all of the veggie scraps out of the broth. And I'm just gonna get a picture because I think that'll be easiest for what we're doing. So, Christian, maybe you could like hold the strainer over this, or like make sure it doesn't fall because it seems kind of sketchy.
Okay, I'm holding the strainer over this.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm just gonna pour this in there.
So we're straining the vegetable broth into a giant kind of pitcher. I'm using just a at-home strainer.
Yeah, just to get all of the like actual vegetable bits. Oh,
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. This is pretty much. Then you just have all these veggie bits, which you can still throw in the compost.
Okay.
There we go. And now we have this lovely broth to use in our recipe, which we'll put in a couple minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna put this right here.
So once the onions are soft, which they're looking pretty good, then you want to add the rest of the things we chopped up, which is the sweet potatoes, the garlic, and the ginger.
Okay.
Ooh, somebody's burning. What do you think? Don't you think?
It does smell a little burny. I'll just mix it so it's not so burn-tastic. I feel like it stopped smelling like it's burning.
We can add a little bit more oil so that it's not just
Okay.
dry.
Oil.
And yeah, then you just want to cook those, get them a little bit softer. 31 seasons of Simpsons. That's less than probably I thought. We can also check our
We need a little more oil. Let me know.
maybe a little bit more would be good.
Okay.
Also, you probably can't even see, but our dough has like for real gotten
Ooh,
chunky.
That's beautiful.
It was like not even covering the bottom, like it was just like a little ball, and now it's like.
Okay.
If you want me to direct the camera to wherever you want to point, just let me know. If you want a close up of anything.
I think we're good so far.
So we'll just continue to let that cook for a bit. What time is it? How long have we been doing this? The naan is probably okay if we want to separate it, but we could also just wait until the end so it's nice and warm.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Do it at the end, probably.
Oh, wait. Quick pop.
Do I have that pan? I don't think I do.
Up time.
Yeah. It'll tell us how long the stream's been live for, but it's roughly 55 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Do you want to start working on the cookies?
Yes, I do want to start. That was another thing. I was like, cookies. Yeah. So the cookies should be pretty easy. We're just gonna make some regular chocolate chip cookies, and we can just put them in the oven. Well, they're regular as in vegan still, but like nothing crazy or special other than that.
Just a question, everybody. How loud was that water?
Yeah, we'll give them time to respond.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make chocolate chip cookies, which I think the first thing to start with is we need to make some light brown sugar. Not too bad. Okay. We need to make some
Cool
brown
beans, thank
sugar.
you.
So we're just gonna pour out the amount of sugar that we need, and then mix a little bit of molasses with it. So
Oh, that's fun. That makes light brown sugar.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's super handy.
Yeah. So then it's like, if you don't want to buy brown sugar because you probably won't use it all because I feel like everyone wastes brown sugar
Sure.
a little bit because it goes bad. You can just buy molasses and buy sugar and keep it forever. Or until needed.
It's the sugar that keeps on giving.
True. So this recipe is calling for 1 1/4 cup light brown sugar. We're gonna double it, so it'll be 2 1/2.
That's beautiful.
Wow, sugar. So sweet, so nice.
I'm a little heated. I'm gonna have to get something to drink.
Yeah, it's toasty in here.
Would you like something to drink?
Sure.
Do you like water or tea?
Water or tea does not matter that much to me.
The stove top is full of. I'm so much right in there.
So we have 2 1/2 cups of sugar, which seems like an excessive amount of sugar, and I got it. Gonna pour a little bit of molasses.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to let Dead out. Whoopsie.
Huh?
Nothing.
Do you want to get coconut oil and we sell flour, but coconut oil out of the pantry? And yeah.
What kind of tea would you like?
Always ask for the new Animal Crossing.
Does anybody play the new Animal Crossing? Because I don't, but I feel like a lot of people do.
Because
I'll tell you that it's Doom.
what kind of tea would you like, Mary?
I like the lemon ginger. Either of them.
Turmeric?
Yeah. I already had the lemon ginger earlier, so I'll do the ginger turmeric. So this is kind of a process because I'll show it on the other camera, but it kind of like clumps together, so you kind of gotta like press on it and take the time to like consolidate it and make it one texture rather than being 2 separate kind of things. Justice says he wants to get the new Doom.
Oh yeah, that new Doom looks real good. Just, well, almost looks grindier than the last few. To be honest.
Actually, I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna use my hands. I don't know why I'm trying to use.
Wash your hands.
I know.
Where's the sign?
Yeah, Christian, what happened to the sign you made? Oh. Very nice. Have one over here. Let's do this a bit. This smells so good. It's so sweet potatoey and gingery. Delicious.
Justice, I'm not sure if that just means you don't have very good games or if Doom is literally the best for you. There were some pretty good games for PS4.
Isn't PS4 still kind of like the current thing to use though?
Yes. Yes, it is. PS5, I don't think it's actually come out yet. Or if it did, it was literally very, very recently.
I haven't heard of it. Ooh, yeah,
Fair enough,
hands
yeah.
are working much better for
Is this
the
how you
white
make brown
sugar.
sugar?
This is how you make brown sugar.
Oh.
It's just molasses.
I'm sure you said that earlier and I just wasn't listening.
Probably.
Alright, how much of this coconut oil do you need?
Half cup. Or actually, read it. I thought it was a half cup, but it might be a cup.
Okay.
Look how good this brown sugar looks now, guys. Ooh.
Quarter cup. Another coconut milk.
And it's double, so.
Baking soda flour.
Half cup coconut oil solid.
So 4 times?
No, 2 times.
Two
So
times,
it's a
okay.
cup.
I gotcha.
Wow! This is really nice.
I can't help it.
I'm really proud of myself with this. Wow! Amazing! Yeah. Whew.
Oh man. Just gotta do a little bit of some ASMR stream. Oh, Mary, how'd that sourdough starter come out?
I still haven't gotten to do it actually. I
Oh.
really didn't mean to, but
Wait, is it in this fridge or did you take it home?
no, I took it home
Oh, okay.
because yeah.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, Justice. I'm excited to try the sourdough, but I have not gotten to it yet. But I will make some and bring it back, and then yeah.
Oh, no. Alright.
I feel like we're running low on bowls. Where did all our bowls?
That's a really good question because I don't know
It's
either.
like
Oh god, that's just a massive bowl. I don't know. I mean, how big a bowl do you need?
just like a mixing bowl size.
Okay, that's actually more difficult than I thought.
Yeah.
Do you keep taking them for compost stuff and then not bringing them back?
I guess we can wash this one.
Yeah, that would probably be your best bet. I honestly don't know where all my plastic bowls went.
I will check at the house. I think I have one plastic bowl, or maybe a different. I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
They will be found. Would you like to talk?
Justice, post your recipes. This is me reminding you. So how's everyone adjusting to the new class schedules, I guess, or non-schedules? And you can join in, Amelia, if you want. This does pertain to you.
She's done.
Oh, here you go. Where's the tea bag?
I got them out. I'll do it right there.
So we're gonna pour the brown sugar, the coconut oil once it's.
That was so neat. I never knew that about coconut oil. Brown sugar.
It's very neat. And pour a little bit more.
That was too much of a struggle.
It smells good.
If you want, you can pour 4 teaspoons of vanilla into here,
Okay. Into this or into that?
into this.
Okay. I can do that. It's one of my specialties.
We're doing a cup of coconut oil.
Is this a tablespoon or teaspoons of teaspoon?
It doesn't have to be exact.
1. You said 4.
Yes.
2. This always reminds me of Mary Poppins when she had like the syrup.
Yeah, the spoonful of sugar. That's
Makes the medicine go down.
my favorite part about cooking with coconut oil is that you can just spread it on your skin afterwards.
Amazing. The medicine go down. Oh, that's too much. Got too much. Don't do what I just did. It looks yummy.
If you want to maybe mix all of that stuff up,
Absolutely.
I will add in. We're doing some curry powder and some cayenne into this, and I'm just gonna knife to get into this curry powder thing.
Gosh, I love cookies. So excited to eat the cookies. Oh, don't touch your face. See how I almost did and then I didn't? We're okay.
So we're doing 4 tablespoons.
Do you have, Mary, do you have a favorite food story while you're measuring?
Me? That's a good question.
I can share my favorite food
Yeah,
story.
you should, because I can't think of anything.
I don't have one, but I'm gonna make up that I have, that I know what it is. I don't know my favorite food story. Okay, I take that question back. I'd love to know your favorite food story because I don't have one at this moment. Nope. Favorite food story. Anyone else? David or Amelia?
What's up? I wasn't here with
What's your favorite food story?
My favorite food story? I mean, I've got a good one. It's favorite of mine, but it's kind of an odd one. So, Minneapolis, there's a place called, what? I can't remember. It might have been called Flame Burger. There was this little mom and pop joint, and what they did is they offered a literal full pound burger. Like 8 patties of meat. And you got put on the wall if you ate it. So I ate it. And I felt like death afterwards.
Oh my gosh,
What's
that's
the
But-
line?
I am immortalized on the walls of a Minneapolis diner. So,
checks out.
yeah.
How long did you have to eat it?
There wasn't a time limit, but I put it down to like 20 minutes, which was
You've
a
got-
terrible idea.
You've got to eat it fast, otherwise your stomach gets all.
Oh, absolutely. I was
Otherwise you're
literally
just like, no.
shaking. Look, the meat sweats are a thing.
I do not doubt the meat sweats. I do not doubt the meat sweats.
Here, buddy.
So I already didn't measure it, so in order to be accurate, we're just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My hand is, this is really hot.
Come on, Ralphie. Let's go.
6.
This looks so good. 8. I do have, well, I don't have a favorite food store. I have one that came to my mind. My cousin and my uncle like to go hunting for geese. And one Christmas, they thought it would be funny if my present was a wrapped up dead goose in a bag. And so I got a present with a dead goose in it, and I screamed, of course, because it was very dead and very shot. And I did not eat the goose, and I felt bad for the goose. It's not a very happy story, but that is a food story. I guess a potential food story.
Wow, this is actually really close. Like we have like a little bit, like less than a cup of broth left after pouring it all in here. That's amazing.
My other favorite food stories are eating at RFL.
Aww.
I thought that made it a little nicer than the goose in my Christmas present story. Oh yes, a grand memorial, Justice says.
Indeed.
This is 3 cups of lentils. This is like basically 3 cups, so I just put it all in there.
I don't think I can mix this any more of the sugar. It's beautiful. It's mixed.
That is some nice looking stuff.
Indeed. I'm very excited.
Is that just coconut oil and brown sugar?
And yeah. Yeah, that's it. And vanilla.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You can never go with too much vanilla.
Indeed. Well, it gets bitter at some point. Oops, I almost drank this. I was going to drink it. Poor decisions. Poor decisions. This is a blood orange rooibos tea, which I'm quite excited to drink. Oh, it's too hot. Don't drink that. That is too hot.
We need to get like an ECM to hang behind us here.
Ooh, I like that idea. On the instead of having this,
The white screen.
yeah,
So we can do the rest of the cookies while we wait for
absolutely. Sign me up.
So
And then how fast can you get the projector up to get ECM behind us?
Oh, we don't have to do it tonight.
Oh, I know.
Amelia's amazing. She would do it in minutes,
Probably.
seconds.
ooh, there's too many cords around here. So we're gonna do coconut milk.
That sounds good. Do we have gluten-free flour? I'm
Yes.
gonna go get us some because I think that sounds amazing.
I think we might have some. I was kind of trying to think like, could we split the recipe?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a see, when I made that gluten-free pie crust, it should have been.
Yeah, I think that we do have some. I'm not sure. I don't think with cookies you probably don't need the like
Yes, we got
xanthan
plenty.
gum or whatever.
Tell me, how do we judge food? Like, how do we evaluate, like, if we're going to eat something or not eat something? We're cooking food. How do we decide, like, this is the thing we're gonna eat?
Like
Like
this
when
is
we excellent food.
when we are presented with
Yes.
food.
Ooh, is that applesauce?
It is applesauce.
That's so fun.
Oop, half cup of applesauce.
I touched my face.
Gosh.
I don't think this is better, is it?
And then a half cup coconut milk.
I look
Into
at
the
everyone
cookies.
else's face that's eaten it before me, and then decide if I want to eat it based
Yeah.
on that. That's how I decide if I
I
would.
put some lactose back soda stuff in my mouth, so I feel like that's what's
Yeah. Tell me, how do you decide, Amelia? Amelia's sharing a time when she food
You
story
can,
actually
do you want to come in here?
ate fermented beans, cheese, what
Milk.
was it?
It was pretty like rotten milk.
Ate a cheese clump of rotten milk, which was a glorious story. And now we're discussing how we choose food, and that's an interesting. How do you tell?
I usually try it.
Amelia just goes for it. What do you do? What do you do with food? Do you, when you see food, you're like, I have to see how other people respond, which is definitely what I do. Do you just try it and not even just jump in like it's an adventure? Why the heck not? I'm at anybody.
Oh, I mean, you guys have seen me eat food.
David does not discern in a similar manner to Amelia.
I think I definitely, like, if people eat stuff before me, like, that's appreciated. Like, I definitely, I ate, like, crickets and stuff when I was in Thailand, but I wasn't the first one to eat crickets. And I feel like there's other things where I'll be like, oh, yeah, sure, jump right in, but with stuff like that, I was like, I want confirmation that these don't taste
Like death.
like really bad.
Crickets and grasshoppers taste great.
They were surprisingly
I ate
quite
them
good.
once in sushi. Someone made a cricket berry roll, and the legs were hard for me, but the rest
The
of
legs
it,
are a
but
little
the
bit
rest
much.
wasn't so. I wasn't like, let's do this again, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah. The ones that I had were just like
Right?
in a street cart at some outside night market, and they had like it tasted like popcorn. Whatever seasoning they put on it, it was like a really nice
That's
seasoning.
yummy.
And so
What about anyone else? Anyone else have any crazy food stories or not crazy food stories? How do you choose what you're gonna eat? Food's a thing. How do you make that decision?
Just, it says fried mealworms taste like pork rinds.
There you go. If it tastes like pork rinds,
I mean, I'm absolutely in. Future
so,
run is.
do we want to maybe?
we can just do whatever you. If you want to also not want to split, that's okay.
Well, we would just have to figure out mathematically.
Can we just like put it in cups and then just?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to do that?
I mean,
Or do you want to? Maybe we could do like this even in the.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Gluten-
I'm being a little selfish because I want these
gluten-free.
cookies.
That's okay. You deserve cookies. Everybody
That's okay.
deserves
It's
cookies
totally
right
okay.
now.
It's totally okay.
what do you think? Yeah.
Um,
Pour into the 2 cup and see what happens. Go about as high as you can.
this is such a weird texture to it.
Mm. Oh, I didn't need to like jump in.
No. I was just trying to think through it. Maybe we could just.
The people waving at us are neighbors.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. Wait, which neighbors?
We have no idea. I have no idea.
Those
Amelia's-
neighbors?
I don't know. Amelia said there were people outside waving.
Oh, okay.
maybe if you just like scoop some of that in there, and then you could just like slowly add the
Flour.
the flour, and then that might work well.
Such a thoughtful person. Okay, I'm just gonna take us 1 scoop.
Okay.
I'm gonna take one scoop. I'm just gonna put it in. I like that idea of gradual adding.
Well, everyone, throw the recipe out.
This is on the fly cooking team. For those of us with allergy impairments.
Okay. Do you have all you want?
That's fine.
Before I
Yeah, that's
pour
fine. I don't.
the-
Does anyone else want the gluten free besides me? I'm assuming it's just me and myself and me.
That's okay.
I mean, only if it's pie crust.
I love pie crust. You make excellent pie crust. Those are some good food stories, everyone. Thank you for sharing.
I don't think. Do I have any other food stories that aren't over the top and ridiculous?
Just how do you decide what you're gonna eat? I think that's it's pretty basic.
I like smells. I definitely am
Oh,
big
really?
on smells. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. So if it doesn't smell good, I guess I wouldn't trust it myself.
That actually, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I will sniff literally everything. Every time I try it. Even if I've eaten it 100 times, I will sniff it before I eat it, even if I know exactly what it tastes like.
Well, that's a good reason. That's a good reason to make a decision. I think I probably have never thought about that, but that makes sense to me. It gets really hard for me too. Although there are some things that I don't think have smelled very good and I've tried them and I've been like, that's better than I thought.
Pouring on in my
Oh yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Like kombucha often, which I eat, I drink. I guess you could eat it depending on. I drink a lot. I don't necessarily always think it smells very good.
You have an addiction
Yeah.
to kombucha, like I have an addiction to energy drinks.
Addiction, that feels strong.
Oh,
I
know.
When we were in Lawrence, I was like shocked at how much kombucha Christian could just put back
I
in
drink.
like an
I
afternoon.
drink a lot of.
Because usually I love it too, but usually when I drink it, I'll like have like 3/4 of a bottle, and I'll be like, okay, I'm good. Like I'll drink the rest later. But nah, just the giant bottles. It was very impressive.
It was delicious.
Justice, you really should have stopped at pork rinds. You had me sold, and now you're definitely losing the sale.
You've
What did he say?
You've run down a rabbit hole.
Said raw, they are kind of nutty, and the exoskeleton is hard to swallow.
The
It's
only-
like a long, chewy popcorn kernel. You can't crunch.
The only
Okay.
time I've ever had mealworms though was like when it was like on top of chips with guacamole. Like there was just a little garnish, all sprinkled on there, so you couldn't even really like I couldn't even really taste them at all.
Really?
Yeah.
The other thing that is very daring that maybe this is an overshare. Oh well. When you're in Turkey, I lived in Turkey and Istanbul. I love Istanbul. Many of you know this. There are lots of street vendors, just a lot everywhere, and they sell this amazing ice cream. But people are always telling you that live in Istanbul not to eat it because it makes you sick. But it's really amazing because it's stretchy. It's ice cream that literally stretches like it looks like rubber, and they'll have like actually you can't really see this, but above us on this camera there's like a pots are suspended from the ceiling, and they'll clang the pots with like a metal spoon, and then like pull out this ice cream and like make it into a big design. It's crazy, but you shouldn't eat it. That's what I was told. Someday I'll eat it. Maybe I'll take Amelia or David
you've
and we
never
can
had
try
it.
it. Well, I've had it like when someone made it in a house, but I never went to a street vendor because people are like,
Oh.
"Don't do it," and I don't know why they say that. It's beautiful.
I don't know.
But I recommend ice cream, stretchy ice cream. It's a whole thing. It's amazing. We don't have it, and that's okay. But if you can ever eat it sometime,
And I thought bubblegum ice cream was the extent of it.
I don't know how to explain it unless you see it.
Yeah, I get you. Are those mini chips?
I don't know. They're just chocolate. I'm gonna put them in my thing. My bowl of deliciousness.
Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I have chips that are for you.
Look at this. These have no nuts. This is amazing. So, this is when be around nice people. They buy you nice things. These chocolate chips are good too.
I just don't know if those don't have anything you can eat in them or
Look at
not.
this. They're delicious. Oh.
Yeah, they probably do have soy in them.
It's totally okay. Soy less often.
I forgot to like do that thing where you like mix the dry together and then put it
Oh
in there.
no.
So.
You should have that one here too.
Oh well.
And how many teaspoons are you getting?
It's kind of guesstimate, isn't it?
That's right.
I guess I should have added a little bit less to that, but this is a teaspoon per recipe, so
Got it.
You added
maybe a
what,
little
2?
bit more. I added 2 because we're doubling it. Do you
Okay.
think
Oh no,
you need
these
more?
flowers
No,
are
you only
full
asked for
covering
one,
you.
so.
Put those
Do you think
up.
you need more?
Yeah, put a little more in. That's fine.
Yeah. And that's gonna be 1 teaspoon of salt.
I should add just a smooching to this.
Boop. Oh, those look so good.
And it's vegan, so I can eat the raw cookie dough and not feel bad about it.
It's hot.
Oh no, Mary's returned to the soup.
And it's very hot.
Oh, we gotta watch this. Gotta watch that boil.
Ooh. Slow
Oh,
down
yeah.
now. It's real spicy hot.
There it
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Thank you, David.
is. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's another bag in there too, so don't Be generous.
Goodness. Yeah, there's plenty in here. This is mostly just chocolate chip.
Actually, I need to see if this will pop off this easily without making you guys motion sick. Nah, it's okay. We'll do this differently next time.
Okay. So now we can add all the chocolate chips, which I'm definitely eating some before.
Yeah, I'm game too.
Ooh, these are pretty big.
They're delicious. They're delicious.
And they're fair trade.
Well done.
Thanks, Dylan's. You know, Dylan's brand.
I'm gonna throw this away if we're done with it so we can just kind of clear all this off.
Yeah.
Get a little less
Are you done with your
stuff all over. Yeah. Thank you.
If somebody wanted to prepare a baking sheet,
Okay.
they could do that.
Oh my goodness, that's soap. Soup is so beautiful.
Baking, wait, it would be in there.
So, do you want ham or do you want parchment paper?
What does the Pam have in?
Stuff Christian can't have, but I'll get Christian.
It's okay. We can just put the parchment paper on there.
Okay.
Or whatever. Or any other one.
Well, last
Is this pan? Do we like this pan?
Do I have parchment paper? I don't.
Yeah, that's a great Pam.
I have it upstairs.
Oh.
But this is what I bake
Do
on
we need
anyway.
more? Do we need more chocolate chips than this? Because I feel like.
I feel like that's good. That's a good batter to chip ratio. Can you
Does this
bake
seem-
on
does
wax
anybody
paper?
have a comment?
I do all the time.
Good batter to
Oh,
chip
God.
ratio. Mm.
I was not expecting that.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
No, I was cut out with a pair of scissors.
There you go. There, it's
So
all prepared
weak.
now.
Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we can roll the thing and
Very
I'll
exciting.
set the oven on to 375 and we'll have cookies.
And we know it's hard to be at your house when we're going to have cookies, but just know that if you need some delivered, we do that. And if you need the ingredients next week, we're making sure folks have the ingredients for things, so you're not left out. Although right now you are, but you aren't next week, and you can have them later. So it's delayed gratification.
Great, this is good for you. Right?
It is good for you to delay your. I don't know if it's good for you or not.
Seems good for you.
It can't hurt. Let's put it that way.
I'm just gonna get 2 little scoop. Do you have a particular way that you would like for me to demonstrate cookie platter placing?
Just like a cookie.
Okay.
I don't think it's gotta be anything crazy. Just plop it.
I'm gonna get 2 spoons. This is how I always learned to do it. The 2-spoon method.
We have ice cream scoops.
I actually like doing this better because I don't know why. I've done it this way in my.
No, that's cool. No.
I think it's easier, honestly. Like, I feel like with ice cream scoops, it they're too cuppy, and then it gets all stuck up in there.
That makes
This
sense.
is my personal
Life experience.
personal feelings.
No, you must
And
have taken the other
again,
one
what's
down.
great about vegan cookies, no issues with eggs. So you can just eat this
Eat it all raw.
just from the pan.
I think that we'll leave this on for a couple more minutes. In the meantime, the soup is almost ready. The only thing is we're going to, which I forgot about, cutting some spinach to mix into it. So we will get the spinach.
And what I love about this soup is it doesn't matter if you do I mean, obviously you have to have stuff to cook, but it's okay if you add it later. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be perfect.
Well, yeah. I mean, the spinach was gonna go in the last, so we just forgot to cut it.
Okay.
I got all.
Well, then I take back everything I just said.
That's okay. It still is true. So doesn't really matter.
Thanks, Mary. Those are so lovely. I cannot wait to watch someone else eat them.
Wow.
Cookies! Can I put them in the oven? I'm putting them in. Is it okay if I put them in the oven, Mary?
Yes.
Okay, going
Go
in.
for it.
Going in.
We will never agree on preheating, Mary. Never, ever, ever.
No. Do you want to plug the laptop in over there?
Okay.
The cord should be behind it.
Okay.
Is this one mine?
Yes, mine is the one that is that one. Do we need any of the parsley?
That'll be a garnish, and so we'll just do it later. No, I don't think that we really need to add anything to it now. So we're just gonna cut some spinach up and put the spinach in it.
Oh my goodness, I love cookie dough.
Alright. Well.
Worth it. Worth it.
I will link yours, but I'm going for
Yeah,
this.
I am gonna indulge. I'm actually not a big fan of raw cookie dough. but-
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I never liked it when I was like a kid. But I also feel like there's a weird taste. It might be different if there's no eggs.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
It is definitely different. I like this better. It's coconutty.
Absolutely coconutty. But that egg kind of brings almost a creaminess to it.
Yeah. It's good. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could use my spoon again and get a second one.
Well, I mean, you
Just
can
get another.
just,
No,
you gotta
just
eat the
get
whole
another
thing.
spoon. Yeah, you've got to eat the whole. David's got it.
Crazy,
There you go.
crazy.
Eat the whole container.
I got lots of spoons. You may as well.
Extreme stream of going back cookie dough.
Gosh, that's great.
Entirely short
This is definitely longer.
It's a
We're
little
going
longer.
on almost 2 hours here. I have to be out of here in 15 minutes, though.
David's got to be going.
But
That's
I
okay.
have plenty of time.
You all have tuned in for a very long time.
Well, you don't have to end the stream. Like literally, when we're done, just hit that button.
Oh yeah. I
And
was
you're
just
done.
saying. I was just saying. What an amazing group of folks to watch us cook for so long.
Oh, absolutely. They are the best.
But we're fun. I mean, and you're fun. So.
Cool.
Well, we could definitely do some of the naan.
Hey, let's tell me what to do.
So, maybe we want to get out another cutting board.
Okay.
And I'm thinking,
Cutting board.
okay,
Got it.
I'm gonna grab this stuff, and we're gonna like.
Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty and so big. Here, let me do the spinach, and then we can talk. Oh, I forgot to take the lid off. Do you want to take the lid off while I
Oh,
do
yeah,
this?
I got you.
Just holding spinach.
Oh wait, you're getting the. Yep.
Nice spinach juices in my tea.
Oh. Hold on. Oh.
So the last part is spinach and coconut milk.
Hold on. This is a fun time to try something.
This cookie dough is so good. I don't even.
Yeah, there we go. Now we can get in there.
That's actually really cool. I'm watching it while you're doing it.
Also, the cord is necessary.
Oh my goodness, really good.
That actually looks
I love-
ridiculously good.
The color change
Yeah, look at that.
and
From the orange to the green. Oh,
we're
there it is.
incorporate it all.
And so goes a work of art into a new one.
Well said, David.
It's beautifully said.
Existential excellence. I could eat this all day. This cookie dough.
There we go. There's our soup.
So I need to, is it ready right now?
We'll let it the like spinach wilt and stuff for like a couple more minutes, and then usually when you serve it, it's said to like mix the rice with the soup, so it's kind of has the rice texture, and then you can put cilantro on top of it, and it'll be so good.
Mmm.
So yeah, this is pretty much it, just with the garnishes and the rice.
Well done, Mary. What a great recipe.
Oh, there's the rice.
Oh yeah.
That looks done.
That looks done. So yeah.
I really
guess
hope
we
I really
can-
hope everyone watching can see those steam lines go up.
I guess do we want to add the rice to the soup, or should we keep them separate?
That's up to you. I think either sounds yummy. If it's gonna be easier to contain.
That's a good point. Yeah, less containers. So I guess we can make sure the rice tastes okay.
It's a good idea. Be sad.
But
for
it
to
will.
not be
I
so
mean,
good.
it'll probably cook more in the soup.
That worked out better than I hoped it would.
Ooh yeah.
Here, come look. Come look them see that you eat the deliciousness.
Rice.
She's eating the soup without you saying it's sad. So this was all really inexpensive. I mean, we were mostly just bantering. But if you were gonna prepare this meal for one person, we're looking at what, like a $2 a person, $2 a person,
Probably yeah.
just something.
Somebody want to hold this while I
Yes.
put it in?
You want to hold it?
I got you.
I'll be the camera woman.
It's definitely gonna be
What am I
burnt at the
holding
bottom. This hold it up, and I will. And don't burn yourself.
Not the first time it's gonna happen.
It's kind of hard to. Oh, my hand is in the shot. Clearly, I have skills of photography.
You can take the camera off the mount and
Oh, I
just
can,
literally get
yeah.
in here.
Yeah, that feels like a lot.
Okay.
Just gonna,
Or just pick up the whole mount and bring it over.
just gonna bring it back.
Here, tell you what. We'll change up the angle a little bit so everyone can see it now.
The rice is lightly burned, but it's not that bad. I was a little bit worried there for a second, but
You're just releasing its inner flavor.
yeah, it's true. Nothing like that good old rice flavor of char.
Look, there are absolutely recipes that require that. Like what, paella needs a bit of a char to be good. We'll just call this, I don't know, Indian paella.
Indian paella.
I'm pretty sure that's not cool. I'll be quiet now.
Thanks, Daddy. Oh my goodness. How long do we need to wait for the cookies?
I would think 10 minutes, but we
Yep.
can check on them now. We're gonna need probably this.
Well, the oven finally heated up.
Wow, this is
We are not ready yet. We are still ooey gooey. Okay, perfect.
Oh my goodness. Look how pretty that is. Look at that. I cannot wait to eat that.
it's exciting times.
And that's, I mean, that might be more than 20 people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to scrape this off of here.
I'm just gonna let you look at it for a little bit. Let's see.
That's what we were doing. The naan.
Oh yeah. Oh, that rose nicely.
Soup, isn't
It rose very nicely. Yeah. Quite impressed.
it?
So-
Not too fast though. Look at the soup. Look at those cookies. Look at those.
I mean, you should watch this. There you go.
Check it
It's not really.
out.
It's not very in focusy.
Hmm.
It's a sad state of affairs.
It looks good on screen.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. It's so yummy. And then we're now going to get a close up of the. Look at that.
Ooh, this is so fluffy. So nice. Very oily, but good.
I need to get a third camera view up of just that camera alone so we can do zoom ups and close ups of this stuff. But that's for next time.
Non, 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 non. You can see my hand. Non, 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 non.
Oh, here we go.
You're cutting it into kind of little buns.
Yes. Then we will roll it out.
Roll
Maybe we
it
can
out.
get the griddle
roll.
out, or maybe it would just be easier to use a pan. I think
It's your call, although that griddle's probably going to be pretty close to the mic, so
Yeah.
we can move the mic away just to
Let's just get a pan.
be cognizant. I also got to be out of here for a minute.
You should go then, because we don't want you to be late.
Oh, no. I'm already giving myself a couple minutes.
Ah, good. Here's our workspace. You can see it's kind of in the middle of the. There's our microphone. Let's see. You're hearing this. Oh, that was loud.
I changed my mind. I want the griddle.
Kind of all of our
Because we can do way more at once.
beauty.
Okay. Alright, everyone. Close your ears. I'm going to move the mic a little bit. It's probably going to be loud, so I'm
Here,
sorry.
Pause the sound then. So
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea.
nobody
We'll
will
just
have
mute it.
any. Don't want anyone in pain.
There we go. Now we're back.
Do we want to move this expensive probably thing?
Oh, see? We got it back. Perfect.
Do you want to push the griddle this way? Switch places?
And you don't need to have a griddle. You can also do this on your stove top.
Yeah.
We just have a handy contraption that makes this move a little faster.
Yeah. It's whatever is easiest and best for your situation. Hmm.
Yeah, I'll let this get you to the super.
Sweet. Good start. Sweet. I'm gonna put this and soak it in the water. Do you have any tips if you burn rice on the bottom of a pan? What we should do to make it not so burny? So you've kind of burned rice on the pan. What do you do?
Yeah, I would soak it.
We just
For sure.
Those are that's our
We
tip.
might be able to get some more out of the bottom of that though. I didn't really scrape it off or anything. But
I mean,
I think that you got really a lot. And if
Okay.
you get too much more, it's gonna get the burned pieces too.
yeah,
Okay.
Justice says stir it more. So, I don't know. I was always told boil salt water in there. It'll break down anything in there. Faster. I don't know. Okay, is everybody, I assume, is probably hearing the computer just a little bit. Is it bad, or is it really not noticeable? Just like a little bit of a whine?
I think they'll say if it's bad.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just curious.
Sure.
I don't have the gain up on it, so it shouldn't find it too much.
But just
Well, I'm sorry, buddy. Shouldn't mention it then. Next time, I'll know better. I must be on my way.
Bye, David. Bye.
Have fun at work.
Will do. See ya. You good to go here?
So for the naan, we're just putting like a little bit of oil, just so it doesn't get super starchy or anything, but not too much. So, you know what?
I'm just gonna pick up the kitchen while you're doing that.
I think that's a wonderful magnificent idea. There. So there's our first naan piece.
Do we need these knives anymore?
No. Eek.
That was loud. Apologizes for that. This soup is gonna be amazing. Oh my goodness.
Do you want to check on the cookies to make sure that they're okay?
I can't tell. I think they're done, but they're a little goopy.
Look like they're smoking.
I think it's the wax paper.
Oh, okay.
That's another food story. One time I put wax paper in the oven and the whole kitchen got full of smoke. We had to evacuate the house because it set off a fire alarm. I was living with 50 people at the time.
Oh.
It was a little embarrassing. So I don't use wax paper. But we did this time. So far no one's. Say it again.
Usually use parchment paper, not.
Yeah. That's what I learned that day. I learned that day.
Did we not use parchment paper?
We used a different choice, and I didn't know it was the wax paper choice.
Ah.
So we get to relive that food story together.
Ah, great. Fun food story.
I feel like they're a little gooey, but I think they'll be okay. I don't want them to be much darker. What do you think?
Oh, I think that'll be good.
They are gooey though. And here's our cookies. They're really hot, so please, no one being merry. How pretty these are. Look at that.
Wow.
They're so pretty. Okay.
Wash my hands.
Eat. Eat again. Do we put this into the big place, or do we leave it out here?
That's mine actually. I just
Oh,
brought it from
nice
home
of you.
because I've had that for so long and there's still so much in it because you just use it and it just never goes away. It's never empties
Can
out.
everyone see what you're doing in this
I don't know. Can they?
hand? Kind of. Not very well, though. Let's move it a little closer. I apologize for my boop cooking. Here we go. We're just getting the naan, just going to cook the naan, and then we will be finishing up with our yummy, yummy meal.
Yes, we will.
So a special thanks to Mary for putting all these ideas together. This is a lot of thinking about what goes together and what doesn't, and what we can do in a reasonable amount of time. So that's really thankful for that. To Amelia for monitoring our computer stuff so we can answer questions and make sure that the internet was working. David just setting everything up and just providing other filling in when we needed him.
Supportive. Something.
Sue, chef, and cameraman extraordinaire. Thank you for those who tuned in. I know this was a long time commitment, so whether you were here for 20 seconds and just were like, what's happening, or stayed the whole time, you're a trooper. And now you can maybe know a little bit about, a little insight into what it takes to put together Real Food Lunch on a Friday. Ooh,
Sorry.
fun side note. No, look at that. Look at the naan. That's great.
Maybe you can grab a plate. And set
Absolutely.
on
This is my hands.
a plate.
Oh, God! Maybe you can see that you don't have to be an expert chef to cook. It's okay if you're just learning how to do something or you don't do something exactly like a recipe says. It's still gonna be fine and taste yummy. And if it doesn't taste good, just try it again next time. Thinking of each of you as you're living in a different routine than you've been living in, whether that means not seeing the people you're used to seeing or eating with your friends on Friday at ECM or being around your family as much as you like or just seeing folks in class. Yeah, it's a tough time and it's a time of a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change, and know that that's okay in the ways that it's okay. Know it's all right if you're feeling nervous or want it to be over with or kind of going a little stir crazy. I'm going a little stir crazy. And we'll be here next Thursday doing some more food, hanging out. Feel free to tune in next Thursday. Feel free to bring friends or just, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're eating and maybe eat some vegetables. I don't know. That feels like a good thing to tell people to do during this time. Get some sunshine. You don't work too much.
Yeah.
Any other things?
I found it helpful that I was watching a video the other day and she was saying like keeping a routine, like not like even though we aren't leaving our house, still like waking up in the morning and doing the things that we normally do, like cook breakfast or get dressed or things like that. Like, and I think that could help people feel really much better rather than like, I've been sleeping in a lot and stuff like that, and I feel like waking up, getting started on the day will make everything seem like it's normal and everything's the same, but it's not the same.
Sure, I think that's helpful. That routine piece is really helpful, Mary. I think that's really helpful. I'm going to find, where'd our singing bowl go? I will ring us out into the evening.
Yeah.
While we finish this bread. I love these singing bowls. They kind of provide a bit of a
so good.
routine and a ritual to things. If you want some food, click on, if you want to know what we're doing, type in ! recipe and the recipe will come up. If you want to know what we're going to be cooking next week, we'll be sending out that information. If you want to cook along with us, feel free to fill out the form that Amelia will be posting to our to the chat so that you can be in the know. If you would like to have a sampling of some of the yummy food we have cooked tonight, or some cookies, or some naan, or some the yummy soup, please also let us know that, and we'll be sure to get that to you. So thank you for joining us, and I will ring us out into the evening. Until next week.